Thank you, guys. So the next segment of the class is the lunging segment. And I'll let everybody kind of join back in, but as you're preparing for that, you can just have your blanket, kneeling blanket. I usually recommend it. I know I prefer it. We're gonna work with the blanket for the knees if you like that. 2 blocks. I think I forgot to mute us too. 2 blocks, and then the bolster if you have one. Otherwise, an additional blanket will be fine. So let me just make sure I muted us here. So setting that up. And then we will do a few variations with movements just to kind of lubricate once again. So the first variation we're going to do is stepping the right foot forward and placing the left knee down. So your standard kind of lunge setup. So we're going to come forward. The blocks are there if you need arm extension. So if you need longer arms, that's what your blocks are used for. So the first variation we're going to do is just a lunge like you're doing with your 2 blocks. You want to have a little bit of an angle on the left thigh, so you can step that knee back, keep the blanket with it. And then we're going to revolve and come back to this. That's all we're doing. So you're going to leave your left hand down. Right arm opens up. You're going to look to the right. Squeeze out 1 exhale. And then come back to your block. And while you're in this kind of forward fold here, recover the lift and spread of the chest. So spiral the arms, look forward, sun lounger kind of sternum, move it forward. Okay. So we're going to move into the twist, the revolving action on the exhale again. So when you're ready to breathe out, you're lifting that right arm, reaching up, revolving the chest to the right, squeeze out 1 breath, come back down to your block and recover the chest. Move the sternum forward, broadcast. I call it a fountainhead of the sternum in all directions. Let's do it one more time. Revolving on the exhale, raise the right arm, follow the fingertips with your gaze, squeeze out 1 exhale, move that chest to the right, come back to your blocks and recover the lift and spread of the chest. Okay. So second side, transition to kneeling on the right, stepping forward with the left. You might want to move your block slightly to the right because both blocks are within the space of the left foot, sorry. If you feel a little bit confined here, you can turn your left toes out 45 degrees. For some of us, that helps bring a little bit more roominess to this compact situation. So start with the recovery of the chest, moving the arm flesh, spiral the inner elbows, look forward. When you're ready to exhale, it's going to lead you into that rotation. Lift the left arm, follow the fingertips with your gaze and squeeze out 1 breath. Inhale, transition back to your second block, recover the chest. Wait for an exhale, catch that exhale, ride it up into that rotation. Back to your block, recover the chest. Relax your eyes, your face, your jaw, your temples, eyebrows. Last time here, follow the exhale, squeeze out 1 breath. And then back to your block and back to the recovery of the chest. Okay, step your left knee onto your blanket, take a moment, take a pause, rest. Child's pose is fine, or anything else that feels good in your body. Okay, we're going to do another sequence. This is 2-part, again, just a 2-part sequence, bowing and bending. So again, the right foot's going to step forward. You're going to be kind of using the blocks as arm extenders in line with your shoulders. So I just have my fingertips there because my blocks are the perfect height to meet my fingertips. We all have different proportions. So however the blocks work for you, put them in line with your shoulders roughly. So we're going to begin shifting forward like there's a book on your head. So shoulders back, this is the back bending element here. Chest lifts and spread, left hip flexor open, tailbone moves into the body, relax your face. On an inhale, you're gonna pull back, rock onto the right heel, engage the right leg. Your blocks can be evenly aligned around the right leg. Open your chest. This is a forward bend, but we're going to initiate it with the back bend. So open the chest, move the shoulder blades in. Exhale, hinge the elbows, and just dip the chest toward the leg. But keep looking forward. Inhale, come up. And exhale, shifting back into that lunging position. I'm glad you made it back, Pence. Sorry about that disruption. Okay, so you're here, a couple deep breaths. We're certainly not doing this with every breath. Okay, so try to get the book on your head idea. Don't have your butt 6 feet behind your skull. So you want your skull above your butt. Okay, come to the top of an in-breath. And now shifting back onto that right heel, extend the right leg. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, dip the chest. Keep the chest in the foreground. Okay, inhale, come up. Exhale, bend the knee, and we'll do it one last time on this side. Okay, so leaning forward without pitching the torso. So you're really just inviting that yawning open of the left hip flex. So you guys look great. Inhale, pull back. Rock on to the right heel. Move your chest forward. Exhale, dip the chest. As much as you can go down without receding the chest. So that's a limiting factor. You won't go into your deepest forward bend. Inhale, come up. And now we're going to transition to the other side. Good work. Checking in with my time clock. Okay, so same thing, just 3 times of those sets on the left side. So we're going to begin with our hands in line with our shoulders. We're trying to be upright. You can have a nice angle on that right thigh, shoulders rolling back, skull is over the pelvis, not forward of that. Okay, a couple big breaths. Come to the top of an in-breath. And then you're going to pull back, rock onto the left heel. Fully extend the left knee. Move your chest forward into the foreground. On an exhale, dip the chest. Keep your eyes looking forward. Inhale, lift up. Good. You're back on the sole of the left foot. And exhale, sink into that nice back bend. Shoulders back. Your skull above your spine, your eyes attached to the back of the head, not bugging out. No googly eyes. Okay, and again, inhale. You're pulling back. Your chest leads you into a little dip toward that extended left leg. Keep your eyes forward on the horizon. Great stretch for the back of the front leg. And then the next piece is for the front of the back leg. Okay, inhale, come up. Last time here. You're in your back bend, shoulders back. Think about the armpit flesh spiraling toward the back armpit, front to back. Sink in nice and deep. Keep tilting the pelvis back. Yawning open the right hip flexor. Last time here, inhale, pull back. And that chest, lift and spread, broadcast the sternum in all directions. Exhale, bow just a little bit. You need to keep the chest forward so you can't go as deep. And then inhale, come up. Good. Recovery in a child's pose. So knees wide, feet together. Support the head somehow. And just take a few passive deep breaths. Good work. Okay, we have one more set. It's a 2-parted set again. This one will involve lifting our kneeling knee. That being said, if you need to keep the kneeling knee kneeling, you can. So we'll begin again with the right foot forward, left knee kneeling. So now you're on your fingertips because we don't want to work with blocks here necessarily. It's a little destabilizing. So fingertips to the floor. We're going to be coming into a revolving, just like we started with, lifting the right arm, looking to the right, turning the chest to the right. So those of you that can, curl the left toes under, extend the left leg completely. Good. And now on an exhale, raise the right arm. Follow the fingertips with your eyes and try to peekaboo the chest toward those fingertips as well. Good. Come back to center. And now see about sweeping your arms back. Sweep your arms back. Good. And here's the big grand finale move, okay? Inhale, sweep the arms forward and come up. Good, and you can do this kneeling. Okay, extend the arms forward, touch down, lower the knee if it's lifted. Same thing, other side. Okay, remember you can do that little turnout with your forward leg toes if you need a little bit more room. 45 degrees, toes pointing toward the corner of the mat. It won't hurt the alignment of what you're doing very much at all. Okay, so hands down, curling the left toes under, right toes under, extend the leg. Right hand stays down. On an exhale, you're going to lead with that left arm, follow it up with your gaze, peekaboo the chest toward the fingertips, squeeze out one breath. And then returning the hand to the floor. Get your legs beneath you, clamp the hips. On an exhale, sweep the hands back. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up. Nice. Good work. Extend the arms forward, touch down, lower the knee, taking left knee down as well, and sit back for one last child's pose. Right. We are nearing the finish. We are going to do a couple poses on our backs with our strap. And because the first pose is bridge pose, we don't want blanket under the head for that one, but for the other two, you can have a blanket under the head. So just leave your blanket nearby, maybe right above the head, if that's something you're gonna want to use for those second two poses. We're going to use the strap for bridge pose and for reclining bound angle pose today as a way to hold the ankles without holding the ankles with our hands. Okay, so come onto your back. Strap can be open or closed, it doesn't matter because all we're doing is taking the front strap to the front ankles. So before we go too far, because we're starting with bridge pose, you're catching the front ankles with your strap, but we do not want our feet any more narrow than sitting bone width. So if you sense that that's going to be an issue for you, you can put a block between your feet to keep that spacing. Just otherwise keep your attention on that spacing. So with the hold of the strap, first, make sure that your heels are as close to your sitting bones as they can be without closing the feet together. Once you have the heels close to the sitting bones, you're going to wrap your hands once. One, to support your grip, and two, so that your hands don't slide. So wrap the knuckles so you have a nice loop around your fingers. Revolve your arms so that you can get the outer upper arms down and as much of your knuckles to face down as possible. So we want to get the outer upper arms down, which lifts the shoulder blades up. Now you're going to kill that gap between your lower back and the floor. So rock on the pelvis, tilt it back so that you're sealing that gap closed. Tilt your chin toward your chest, and on an exhale, take the hips up. Step into your big toes, step into your inner heels, your big toe ball mounds, and use that instead of clamping your butt. Use the powerhouse of the legs, the firm engagement of the feet, the pelvic tilt, and keep softening the glutes. So draw the inner thighs toward the floor, revolve the flesh, continuing on the backs of the thighs, right under the buttock line. Keep stamping down into the floor, lift the hips, bring your chest toward your chin. Keep revolving your hands so your thumbs move down, your pinkies might move up to work the flesh of the arms, to turn the shoulder blades the way they want. Be aware that your knees aren't blasting wide apart. Keep your knees locked in, hip distance. 3 more breaths, you've got this. Think of your back body, move the attention to the back body. Really nice deep massage for the back spine. Really beautiful elongation for the front spine. Come to the top of the next in-breath. Exhale, walk your spine down 1 vertebra at a time. When the hips come down, release into the floor, restore the lumbar curve. And now let your feet join. And then let the knees fall open. So once the feet join, the knees fall open. It's nice because your hands are usually right there where your hips need a little support. So let your hips rest on your hands. Just taking some time in a surrendered Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle pose. Keep your chin tilted down. And this is where you might need to grab your blanket if you have a chin poking up in the sky. Grab a blanket so you can tilt your head down toward the chest. Try to be as receptive to the breath as you can. It might be bigger breaths after that bridge pose. Now start to move the knees together and step the feet wide. You can take your strap away from your ankles. And we're going to take hold of the right foot with it doesn't matter. You can grab it with an open strap or you can grab it with a loop. I just happen to have a loop on mine, so I'm going to work with that. It really doesn't matter though. We're going to come into Parivrtta Padangusthasana so that we have a twist to kind of finish this, round off this back bending class. So we have kind of a quieter nervous system going into Shavasana. So because we're going to be taking the leg to the left right now, just make sure you have room to do that, which I'm kind of saying to myself because I'm going to run into a wall. So the left hand is holding the right strap or straps, whatever you're working with. You can keep your left knee bent as you guide your right leg to the left and stack your hips. So we want the right hip to come above the left hip. Then you can work to extending the left leg. You can work to unfolding the right arm. You might keep your right hand on your side body just to keep the shoulder a little happier. You might follow that hand out with your gaze, rolling the head to the right. So we have the left hand holding the strap of the right leg. Try to get the leg down somehow, whether you're propping it with a bolster or on a blanket. Remember, the more passive you can make the limbs, the deeper the spinal twist will go. Spend the next 3 or 4 breaths inviting the right outer ribs to move toward the floor. to revolve the entire torso flesh from left to right. And now we're going to gently start to draw both knees. You can bend both knees, step your left foot to the floor, come back onto your back. And just transition your strap over to your left foot. Keep your right foot down, your right knee bent as you start to take the left leg up. And then keeping the hips stacking, you want left hip to come above right. You're going to take your left leg to the right. Put something down. If the leg doesn't land, you might place something there so you have some support. Extend your right leg. You can keep the legs passive, but try to create the general shape of the pose. Again, we're using this pose right now just to kind of decompress, so we're not taking our most active version of it, but just the general shape of the straight legs. You're going to unfold that left arm if the shoulder is okay with that. You're going to look down that left arm side. And then the more you can surrender, the deeper that spinal twist will go. So we'll stay about 6 exhales here. So it's easier on the back if you kind of go back into your bent knees to come out. Roll back onto your back. Take your strap away. And once you're free, just addressing anything else that needs to be moved, attended to, made warmer. Just kind of pay attention to how the final resting pose will feel and if you're going to need some additional props or clothing, eye covering. The front brain is always reaching out, out, out. So when we come into back bending practice, we're starting to withdraw the front brain into ourselves, into the back brain. So as you close your eyes, just kind of keep that dial turned way down, withdrawing those outwardly kind of oriented sensory perceptions, just kind of bringing them in to yourself, just detecting the inner body, sensation, breath, further surrendering sense organs by just kind of deactivating around the eyes, into the eye sockets, mouth, lips, the tongue. With the nose, just sensing the breath as it passes in and out of the cavities of the nostrils, the coolness of the in-breath, the warmth of the out-breath. Deactivating the skin of the face. Just imagine the facial skin melting from the forehead all the way to the chin. Visualize your spine, starting at the brainstem, just kind of traveling down slowly all the way to the very tip of the tailbone. Relax your hips, your pelvis, your thigh bones, the knees, the shin bones, ankles, heels, your feet and toes. Release your shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands and fingers. Letting all the effort of this practice fall away now. Just being with the residue of awareness the practice has left behind. Just a couple more moments, just familiarizing yourself with your own non-doing state, your being state. Start to draw some deeper breaths in. Follow them out a little bit farther than you normally would. With those breaths, maybe start to include some small, simple movements. Let the movement travel in from the outermost parts of your body, moving inward. Using only the effort needed to bend your knees and elbows and to shift onto your side. When you're ready, from sideline position, help yourself up to seated. Sit up tall. Feel how a nice erect, aligned spine supports a certain kind of brightness and awakeness and alertness in the brain. Bring the hands together in front of your heart. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and let it go. From a place within me that I know to be divine, honor that place within each of you. Namaste. All right, thank you all for being here and tolerating my technical issues, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.